Harvard published this course on how to do AI research, how to write AI research papers. We will also look at other famous researchers and teachers and how they explain we should do AI research and what we should research. I will also talk to my AI PhD student friend and get his opinion as well. First, I will talk about research topics, what to research, and then I will talk about how to research, which is this course here. So you can use chapters to skip forward if you want. The industry finally generally agrees that LLMs are missing at least a few important breakthroughs that will allow it to be have a lot more general intelligence like humans, and general intelligence is probably still a decade away. So 2035 or even more 2040, which is what Yann LeCun was predicting all along, by the way. Yann is like godfather of AI. He's doing this for 30 to 40 years and he's extremely famous now. He says that you should not do research on large language models at all. Big companies are doing that and there is nothing you can contribute. Now there are some caveats here. So I think there is a lot of learning materials for large language models on how to do research with large language models. So I do think it's easiest for beginners to get into real research by doing large language models. So keep that in mind as well. And by the way, in this video, I will just inform you and it's up to you to choose what you want to do. So there are people asking me what they should do. I have no idea what you should do. So it's up to you to decide that, to find that. If I asked somebody else what I should do, they would never tell me you should make AI research YouTube videos, which is what I want to do, what I discovered I want to do. So you need to discover what you want to do. Here is my large language model where I'm doing research. So I am doing research on large language model right now, but I do want to expand to other areas. This was very helpful for me to get into the field, but I feel like it's too limiting and constrained, and large language models are like this set of ideas, but we need like this set of ideas to come up with better ideas, the next breakthroughs for general intelligence. So I will continue doing research on large language models, and that includes the research on linear attention that I'm interested in as well, which I explained in this last video. This is actually quite different from large language models, the classic ones, because this contains completely different mechanism for remembering, forgetting, etc. So I would classify this as like quite different. It's not even transformers. But my point is, it's not so important which specific thing or idea you do. It's more about learning all of these ideas so you can come up with new ideas. And that's what you need to be understanding to get better research towards more general intelligence. So until now, I mentioned two ideas. Those are the classic large language models, classic transformers, softmax attention, and these linear attention models, which are state space models like Mamba, gated delta net, Kimi delta attention, etc. And they are quite different. And now that I understand how large language models work, for me to be able to come up with new ideas, with new breakthroughs, I need to understand not just large language models, but a lot of other ideas. Don't think that just because large language models have like biggest companies making most profit, that they are the best idea. They are just maybe selling most right now. Like you can make easiest, like best products out of them. Doesn't mean they are best ideas for moving towards general intelligence. Third idea, Japa. Guys, I know some of you make fun of this, okay? But I'm telling you, this is gonna be the AGI. So the first argument I have for Japa is, trust me, bro, okay? Okay, so the main thing I have about Japa is this is a very good example of how you develop mathematical frameworks, how you think about new ideas. Whether or not Japa leads to general intelligence, that's not even what we should be focusing on. We should be focusing on how to develop new ideas, how to develop mathematical frameworks, how to do experiments and everything. And this paper is such a good example of developing new ideas. And by the way, it was developed by this guy who was right all along. By the way, let me remind you that large language models are missing key breakthroughs. And so my point is, if you want to think of next breakthrough, you cannot just know large language models. You need to know all of these things. Or you can like know generally, but then pick a topic you believe in, then you will add ideas from different fields and maybe combine different ways of building AI, different ideas. So Google just released full paper on their nested learning. This is also very new, very good idea. All of these papers probably take like 6 months to build. Maybe this one took more than 6 months. So this is very slow process. You're not gonna write a paper in 3 days. You need to think about all of this math and formulas and understand it, etc. Also, come on guys, we need better titles like nested learning. There is million things that can be nested learning. We need better titles. I need to understand like what's actually happening in this paper from this title. Most of you watching this video will not have access to top industry researchers, supervisors, top university supervisors. So I don't recommend you spend 6 months or 3 months writing paper and then publishing it. Instead, I recommend you create a post, online post every couple of days, update people, and then you can get some feedback, or post on my Discord and you will get some feedback, because it will be enough to just post online and get feedback like that. If you want to do research on large language models, I forgot to say, you can just clone my repository right here, Open Superintelligence Lab, Blueberry LLM, and then you can just do research. I have all of the instructions here on how to run this. The Dragon Hatchling, another idea for AI architecture. Tiny recursive models, hierarchical reasoning models, it's similar to this one. Continuous thought machines, very good idea as well. It looked at me at first that Sakana AI, they're calling themselves AI Research Lab, but they're not building LLMs. So I thought they're like worse than OpenAI. That was when I didn't know anything about this. So this is real AI research. This is like not just building product, building LLMs, doing the same thing. And this is what we should strive to do, aim to do, kind of research like this. Again, paper like this is gonna take 6 months to do, inventing entire new architecture. But building in public, we need to make doing research in public cool. So these people are doing research within the company, but since most of you are not part of company, you should do it in public, and then it will also motivate or inspire or help other people to do research in public as well. Let's see what Harvard says about how to do AI research. So if you scroll down, you will see this table of content, and everything is easily accessible from here. I'm gonna leave the link to this document below, or you can just Google Harvard AI Research Experience. We will first look at this lesson, Shoulders of Giants, which is lecture 3. First, you're gonna have to understand the current research in order for you to write your own research. If you are not spending a lot of time understanding current research, reproducing current research, that means you are building something from scratch, which is usually not good. You don't want to do that. You want to stand on the shoulders of giants. You want to continue from the previous research. There are 2 ways of understanding current research, reading wide and reading deep. When you are just beginning, it's better to read wide, read a bit of every paper, the main points, the gist, and build a mental map of the current research. Once you figured out what you're interested in, then you wanna start reading deep about that specific thing, and you're gonna be doing a research on that, so you need deep understanding. And so reading wide and reading deep are complementary and necessary, both of them, especially when you're getting started. In this example, we wanna break into deep learning for image captioning as a hypothetical research topic. So it will show you here step by step how you would go about this. It starts with a simple Google search, image captioning. The author found this paper, and now he's gonna start writing notes manually about the task this paper does, methods it's using like encoder, decoder framework, datasets evaluation, etc. So this is in Google Docs. It's usually good to write manually because you are then thinking about it and learning it, as opposed to summarizing with AI. You will understand a lot better if you write it manually. Then he checked the benchmarks and then went into a single benchmark and checked performance of different models. Then he wants to read the abstract of this paper. However, if we are new to this image captioning, we will not understand most of the sentences. But now AI can help us also understand faster, which is very good. You want to get the general idea of the problem, existing solutions, and then the problem with existing solutions, and then the paper's contribution. How did the paper solve this problem with previously existing solutions? That's how you want to read the paper. Now, the first time you read it, you're going to understand like 10% of it, but with AI, you will understand more now. It's faster. But don't worry if you just understand 10%. Read a couple more times. Try to aim for 70% understanding eventually. Next, let's look at lesson 10 and 11. I dreamed a dream. First of all, research creativity is not magic, it's a structured process. So how do you come up with great research idea? Even if you are new to the field, you can generate high quality research ideas by rigorously analyzing a single existing paper. First, you want to identify gaps in the current research. So it can be gaps in the research question, or gaps in the hypothesis, or in experimental setup. Here are some examples if you want to check out. He's just giving examples of potential research ideas based on the paper. Can you apply this method differently? Can you swap data sources? Can you swap CNN for a transformer, etc.? And then you will iterate on your research idea. So your first idea will rarely be your best idea. You need to validate if that idea has already been done or not, and if it's feasible. You can also email the original author explaining your idea and asking if it makes any sense. When you're writing introduction, you want to have broad context. Why does this general problem matter? What specifically is hard about it? What have others done? Why are those solutions inefficient? And then your contribution. In this work, we propose X, and then roadmap, briefly summarize the method and key results. I think that's a good overview of how you do research now. When you start doing research, you can follow this file step by step more deeply.
That will be it for this video. Check out other videos on my channel and the links below, and see you in the next one.